Join us as we search Alaska and beyond for mysterious creatures, featuring Beans Baxter and Rob Roy Menzies. This is the Alaska Bigfoot Studies. Hey guys, welcome to High Strangeness in Alaska. Taking a break from the Bigfoot stuff for just 1 week to talk about Alaska Paranormal, because we do that here sometimes, but I simply love Juneau, Alaska. I don't visit there as much as I used to in the past, but I'm going to start. So I was just in Juneau a couple weeks ago. It is a beautiful place, steeped in mystery, a lush rainforest. You cannot get there by road. It's got to be airplane or boat, and just full of mystery. I went to my favorite restaurant, Hanger on the Wharf, and had king crab legs, which was just incredible. I'm going to go back there just to get that again. But there was one spot that I wanted to check out. Now, I've done a few investigations in Juneau. There's a lot of cryptids, a lot of Bigfoot, Sasquatch stories there, but one story that stands out when it comes to the paranormal is the Alaskan Hotel and Bar. Extremely haunted building because it's from 1913. If you've ever been on the East Coast of the United States and you've been around very old houses, you can just feel it when you walk in them. Just, you know, there's some kind of energy hanging out there, and that's how this hotel feels. So there's a lot of stories around the hotel. One of the main stories is room 315 and the story of Alice, who was a prostitute, because it was kind of a brothel way back in the day, and supposedly she died, haunts the hotel. The stories and encounters that happen are pretty chilling, and a lot of poltergeist type things of objects flying around, doors closing, voices, lights going on and off. And it's pretty regular that people experience that kind of thing. There are some really weird vortex stories too, where somebody, you know, went in a door and came out into the hallway, and they were in a completely different building, different time zone. So when you're getting into that kind of territory, I believe that there's some kind of vortex going on there, not just a spirit. There's several different rooms that are reportedly haunted. And then there was that thing 10 years ago or so where a sailor was in town and then almost died. He fell out. He wanted to stay in the haunted room, and then he fell out the window, and, you know, the cops got there, there's smeared blood everywhere in the room. And then when he fell out the window, he hit every window going down and just smeared all this blood down the face of the building. Just the oddest story ever. So anyways, really creepy. Juneau itself just has this dark kind of ambiance. It's a rainforest. It's always kind of dreary there. I got lucky and there was some periods of sunshine. I've got good luck when I visit Juneau. A lot of times it'll be sunny, but I stayed downtown, not in the hotel. But I have to say, as I got closer to the hotel, it was just terrifying. I got kind of this feeling of terror. And this is something I'm not used to, because I'm used to, you know, kind of cryptid hunting and being heavily armed, you could say. You know, that's, you know, even my silver bullets make me feel better. But, you know, when I'm out in the woods, of course, we have bears, and then I'm doing the Bigfoot stuff. You know, I've always got some, you know, 10 millimeters or like 454 Casull, you know, rifles, that kind of thing. Always heavily armed, knives, hatchets, and of course firearms. Here, I did have some weapons on me, but in this case, I mean, what are they going to do? It's kind of like, you know, when Luke Skywalker went into that pit with, you know, the spirit of Vader, Yoda was like, your weapons, you will not need them there. You know, that's how I kind of felt like, you know, what is it going to do? And it might even be more of a danger to yourself if you take a weapon in that kind of situation. So luckily, I do have some conviction. I did have a blessed crucifix on me that in these type of encounters and investigations I wear. And that made me feel a lot better, because without that, I think it would have been pretty dumb just to walk into a situation like that. Now, I'll run the footage here, but the weirdest thing happened because I got some signals on my electromagnetic meter, and it will go off around, power lines and lights and stuff, but it was the weirdest thing because it went crazy at this one point in the hotel. Then I passed the hotel to another business and I put it right up to electrical lines and lights and it wouldn't go off. So I think I detected something there. I want to get one of those laser grids. I also shone a laser, trying to see if I could get something to disrupt that laser. That was not as conclusive, but hitting the stained glass stuff, it kind of diffused the laser light, which was a weird effect. So we'll run the footage of what I came up with. So there you go. That was part of my investigation. I will return to this place. Maybe someday I'll have enough guts to actually stay in the hotel. I don't really want to, though, because after I visited the outside of hotel, did this investigation, on the way back, I just had this kind of panicked feeling. I had some pain in my eye, and it did take me some time to go to sleep. And I just was not comfortable. It was just odd. This kind of thing I don't really like. I'd rather be out in the woods hunting Bigfoot. This kind of ethereal, non-bodied evil entities just terrify me. So folks, be careful when you're out doing this kind of thing, and bring some protection. I think without that blessed crucifix, I would have been cooked. I really do, because things like this don't like it when you seek them out. They'll ignore you if you're just walking by and, you might see something. But if you're seeking this out, make sure you come prepared with something. So any stories you guys have, drop them in the comments below. Currently, as this video is airing, I am camping out in the mountains on a cryptid investigation. So we'll be back to Bigfoot and shapeshifter stuff next week. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.